Hello everyone, I'm Nini FC, this is Blue Lines TV, and today I'm bringing you guys a Q&A live stream. Been meaning to do these for a while now. It's been just a matter of finding the right time, to be fair. But before I get into anything, today's video is brought to you by the One Football app. Obviously, thank you to everyone that helps support me by backing it and supporting the One Football app. It means a lot. Obviously, it does help me get by running the channel as well. But at the same time, I personally feel like you do get an excellent product. I feel like the companion app is so convenient. Get all the news and stories and stats that you need. It's all on your phone. If you guys want to help me out, then the link in the description below will be a link to the One Football app. But moving on with things, obviously enough with the plug. Of course, bringing you guys Q&A live stream. It's good to see everyone. How's everyone doing? Nicholas, Jada, everyone. Stuart Kirby, how you doing, man? Dan, yes, Dan, good to see you. Yeah, so of course, yeah, when you guys are ready, anyone that's got any questions that they want answered, I'm here. If anyone also follows me on Patreon, I am going to be releasing the match reaction videos again. I'm going to be explaining what happens, so just bear with me. You'll get that in the next match reaction video for this week. But yeah, for questions as well, I'm not going to be looking at Patreon ones today because this is only a quick Q&A live stream. But I'm going to be doing a proper Q&A live stream again next week, so you guys stay tuned for that. But yeah, let me just start with the questions. What's a good one? Terry Dixon, Nini, would you sign Wan-Bissaka if the ban is lifted, considering we have Reece James coming back? To be honest, Terry, I would not sign Wan-Bissaka due to those reasons. I think that Reece James really is that good. I think that he has all the qualities we need. I don't feel like we need to invest in someone else's product. The one we have is quite excellent already, as it is. Very complete for his age, you know, strong. I get these Ivanovic vibes when I see him winning his 50-50s. The crossing technique, ability going forward as well. It's rare that you get fullbacks that can both defend and attack. Of course, it's been a blessing for England that we've got so many good fullbacks coming through right now. But I don't think that Wan-Bissaka is like of a different like talent level compared to Reece James. So I feel like it would be a waste of money because we could reinvest that money into different areas. But yeah, thanks Terry, thanks for the question. You guys, of course, if you want your questions answered, send in super chats. So yeah, of course, make sure you do that. What other questions are there? Pragyan, right? Nini, do you think Jay De Silva can fit in next season? Yeah, I personally feel like De Silva could do that. I think that technically he's very good. Defensively, he's been good. Yeah, during his stay at Bristol City so far, it has been slightly peak in the sense that you know, it's taken him a while to really cement that place in the first team. But it eventually came, and as the season's gone on, as he's got used to the physicality of the Championship, he has been getting even better and better. Going forward, he's always been amazing, but defensively, you know, playing in a division where it's so physical, he's really learning and understanding how to use his body intelligently to win balls. So I've always believed in the guy, I really have. I wish that people at Chelsea did believe in him. I hope it's not down to his height. I think that would be so backwards to think. I mean, how many 6-foot wingers are there? I mean, there's barely any. I want my fullbacks to be a bit small, so they have that low centre of gravity, because again, you really need to defend the 50-50s. So you don't have to be like the Hulk playing as a fullback, you know. So I'd like to think that Jay De Silva is going to have a future. I want to thank you CFC Anuj for the super chat, bro. Your question is, Jovic for us this summer, Hazard to stay? 1000%, I would take Jovic from Frankfurt. Just watching the guy, been watching him even more and more since obviously he started to get a lot of attention for scoring those 5 goals in that game. And just seeing his overall play, how he uses the ball, even look at his body type as well. I mean, he's only like 20, 21. And look how physically developed he looks already. I think he could handle the Premier League, and he's a footballer. And I think with how he play, especially what we saw last night, Giroud's excellent. I wouldn't say excellent, that's pushing it, but Giroud's very good at his hold-up play and bringing people in. But imagine if you had a 4 like Jovic in that game yesterday, where he's got that ability to beat a man and like really fit in and slot in with the rest of those attacking guys we got. It will make things even better in my opinion, and I'm hoping that's the direction we're going to go in. Of course, he's a guy that we're looking at, so I can confirm that everything's real surrounding Jovic. Let's hope that the ban gets suspended for a bit, and let's hope that we do literally go all out this summer to sign him. Thank you, Moedas CFC, for the super chat. Your question is, will the loan army get sold if we get the ban? Well, at this moment in time, it's hard for me to really give any concrete answers because I don't know any. This is a situation that's still happening day by day. I think anyone saying right now that they understand everything that's going to be happening in the future in regards to this transfer ban will be telling, they're going to be gassing it. Let's be serious. I mean, we can speculate. That's all we can do. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if players in the loan army do look to get sold. For example, could we potentially consider selling Zuma if we got the ban, knowing that we could get some decent money for him? But I think, to be honest, I think if we were to really strongly consider selling a lot of guys in the loan army, it would depend on whether we get Champions League football or not, in my opinion. If it was a nightmare where, we get the ban, no suspension, I mean, obviously we got the ban, but, if it isn't suspended, and obviously we don't make it into the Champions League, then I can imagine a scenario where, we are selling a lot of the guys in the loan army. Other questions. Ricky Smith, Yonini, would Kennedy be suitable as backup to Emerson? In my opinion, no. Kennedy's never been a fullback. I feel sorry that he was even considered there. Blame Mourinho for that. Yeah, he can't defend. Every time he played as a fullback, I never thought he was good defensively. Positionally, he didn't know where to be, and I always found it really weird. Like, imagine you might have like a left back in the reserve squads or with the youth team. Why would he feel more comfortable using a slightly more experienced player out of position that's never played as a fullback in like big games? I've never really understood that mentality. Why would he not go with the youth guy who actually plays that position? Would he not do better than someone that's never played there? I don't understand. But nah, definitely nah. Kennedy, no more fullback Kennedy, in my opinion. And thank you for more super chats, Dan. Thanks a lot, bro. You didn't even have to. It means a lot. Your question is, who's our best striker option if the ban stands? That is interesting. As I keep saying, Jovic is very much high on the priority list right now. So he is someone that is being looked at and considered. Of course, no one's quite too sure on the future of Higuain right now. Nothing's been confirmed whether we're going to keep him or not. I still have some faith in Higuain. I think that, for example, if we play with that team last night, I think we'd see a different Higuain. I remember that game we won 5-0. That was a bit similar in terms of being through in the final third. He really came to life. But yeah, Dan, I think that question is quite hard to answer right now. But again, man, thanks for the super chat. It means a lot. Modas, nope, wrong one. CFC Anuj, are you confident FIFA will freeze the ban? I don't know. That's a hard one. I mean, for me, when I compare our situation to the other Spanish clubs, it doesn't seem like we did anything close to as bad as those three clubs. So if common sense does prevail, that should potentially mean that, we're looking at potentially having at least one window before anything happens. I mean, Atletico Madrid were reported for like over 100 transfers, which is like a ridiculous amount anyway. And look what they got. All the clubs were able to get one window at least. But my theory's always been, with this new guy in charge, the ex-minister from Sweden, you want to send out a message, especially when you're in a new position. You've got to make some power plays and some power moves. What if he's thinking now's a good time to try and, regulate some of the Premier League teams before they start thinking they're getting too big? I'm just speculating on that point, but I don't know. Something tells me that we might get that suspended window. So I am feeling optimistic. Andrew Hill, thank you for that super chat, man. And yeah, getting back through, going back to the questions. Let me see. Rahul, Mason Mount, LCM or RCM? I think with Mason Mount, he could play left or right, to be fair. I personally feel like he's a player, if he comes back, Sarri could really work with, because he's excellent at hunting the ball down and pressing, works very hard, and that makes a difference. I mean, no, the amount of times I've been saying it throughout this season. One of the reasons why Sarri's been so cautious with his lineups has always been down to the fact that he has to consider how the team are going to be defensively off the ball. That's the main thing. I mean, you can play all these attacking players, but if they're not going to press or know how to press, etc., etc., you're going to leave yourself open constantly. So that was one thing that people just didn't want to accept. Even me, I can admit to, I fell down that pattern of thinking at times as well, thinking that, well, you know, I'd rather just see goals come instead of worrying about how we defend. I don't mind if we were to win games, you know, 3-2 or 4-3. But at the same time, you know, Sarri's a perfectionist. You know, if he wants to win by a lot of goals, he doesn't want to concede as well. So you have to respect that. But yeah, I think Sarri would love Mason Mount. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I'm hoping that he is going to be back for next season. Air Max, Giroud is way better than Higuain at pressing. Yes, he is. He is 100%. I've noticed that Higuain does like this little like skip. He's not really closing no one down. So maybe it's fitness or I don't know, lack of intensity. Miguel, hey Miguel, how you doing, man? Think Coutinho would be a good signing. You know what? The video I was working on today is going to be on Coutinho. So basically, it's going to be in a similar vein to you know, top 7 replacements for Hazard. In the video, which is going to come out probably on Saturday, I'm going to be going through, you know, the news surrounding him, how we could use him, what lineups he could play in, etc., etc. You know what I mean? So, it should be a good video. I hope you guys do enjoy it when it comes. I've been trying to step up my editing a bit and try to get a bit better with it, you know. But yeah, you guys wait for Saturday. Let me see who else. I think I've got another super chat. Thank you. Will Sarri be here next season? Well, again, that's impossible to answer. I can only speculate because you know, there's nothing. I haven't heard anything after the win yesterday. But, you know, Sarri's destiny is in his own hands. Let's be serious. If we ended the season with the Europa League and a top four finish, then he's done it. And the boards would really, you know, they'd rate him for that. And they might reconsider, well, you know, the guy's using Hudson-Odoi. He's doing this, he's doing that. We've seen the potential now. He could potentially do enough. And let's hope that the lineup we saw last night we're going to keep seeing. Because if we do, there's a massive possibility that Sarri might be here for next season, in my opinion. Clifford, yes, Clifford. 11 minutes, don't worry, man. You can, once it's over, you can just watch it from the start again. Ryan Fairburn. This ain't FIFA, mate. Oops. Sterny, can we call Oleaina, Barella, or Owa? Oh, okay. Can we? I mean, we could. I don't think Serena have officially signed him just yet. When it comes to Ora or Barella, they're two play. I never released this Ora video. That I should have done like around November time. Back then, I was hearing stuff about how Sarri had like personally spoken to a representative from Lyon in regards to Ora and his availability. Around that period, you know, I was getting told that us and Man City were really, you know, strongly looking at the player. It'll be interesting to see, you know, what happens when it comes to that. Obviously, Lyon, it looks like, what's his name? Fekir and, is it Ndombele. It looks like they both could be leaving this summer. And can I imagine Lyon selling both Owa, Ndombele and Fekir in one window? Nah, I don't think they would do that. I don't think the fans would be happy either. So something tells me that Owa might be staying at Lyon for another season. It makes a lot of sense in my opinion. I don't think he's even played 100 games yet. So I mean, he's still quite a young player. Barella, we'll see what happens in the summer. Of course, you know, if we get that suspension. Barella stated that it was family reasons why he wanted to stay in Cagliari and not leave so soon, which makes a lot of sense. I think his wife was due to give birth, so that makes sense. So it's guaranteed if we get the window that there will be midfield reinforcement. That might either be through the loan army or by signing players. So Sarri definitely wants players in midfield. Terry Dixon, thank you, man. If only, let me see the question. If you could only sell 5 players, who would they be? Oh, only 5? I would sell, okay, I would sell Alonso. I would sell Pedro. I would sell Cahill. I would sell, I'd keep Aspie. I'd keep Aspie for the squads. I think he'd be decent for that. Willian, even though I don't mind Willian, I'd probably sell him because you could get something for him. And you guys probably guess what I'm about to say. I'd sell Ross Barkley as well. They're the 5 players I'd sell. I think we could get decent money for them, man. I think we've got better players in the loan army that could do better than some of these guys. So, again, if we sold Ross Barkley, and integrated Mason Mount, which I think makes more sense in the long term because Mason Mount is a top player who's going to be better than Ross Barkley. I would do that in my opinion. I think Mason Mount, it's weird, you know, obviously because he's playing in the Championship, maybe we're not seeing as much of the stuff he's doing. A lot of times the news we get is fed through us through our timelines and stuff, but I think a lot of people underestimate the ability of the player. I think we do that too often as fans, like even last season with Ruben at Crystal Palace. A minority of fans were really praising Ruben, and there were still doubts in their fan base about whether, you know, is he is he good enough defensively? Is he good enough this, that? Doubt, constant doubt. Look what he's doing now. So I think that people that don't really see what Mason Mount's doing, I think they're not really, you know, seeing the value of the player, in my opinion. But Nate, yes, Nate, what you saying, man? Latest news you heard from your source. Honestly, I haven't heard anything new recently. I'll tell you guys, you know, of course I get lucky to hear like exclusive stuff, but at the same time, you know, I can't be texting people non-stop every single day asking for this, that. They don't have to give me anything. They do it on their own accords, and it's like, you got to respect that. I've never tried to, you know, I've never claimed to be like a news source or anything like that. For me, I've always kind of seen it as like, a lot of times, you know, when we read like stories and stuff, if I'm hearing the same thing, I can confirm it. And then you guys then get a better idea of who's a more like a valid source and who isn't. You know what I mean? So, yeah, unfortunately, there's nothing new right now. But if there, I'm trying to think, is there anything? Nah. I think the last thing that I heard was about Hudson-Odoi. That, you know, Chelsea are confident that he's going to stay. That was like, what, a week or two ago? That's the last thing that I heard. So, there's that. But let me get back to the questions. The pro reviewer, Redan for the first team. Like, he's someone who could be very interesting. If he gets a decent loan move for next summer, I'm going to pay even more attention to Redan. I think he's got all the qualities you want in a modern day forwards. You know, his ability to press high, finishing, he can beat a man. Versatile, he can play out wides, and he can play obviously through the middle as well, hold up the ball. Complete forward. I mean, we don't give our academy coaches enough credit because there's the level of expertise to consistently create top quality youth every single time. And there is a video I do want to do before the season ends. From what I'm hearing that the under-16s are supposed to be really seen as like the next big age group to come out at the club. There's a lot of top players I'm hearing that are playing in that age group. So I'd like to do a video just giving you guys an idea of, you know, who to look out for, who could be the next big thing. Because there's talks that this group could be similar, even better than the group that had guys like Christensen, Boga, Masunda. So that should be pretty interesting. I hope you guys look forward to that. Zen Labs, can we compete in the Champions League without Hazard? Ooh. Let's be serious. Without Hazard, it dramatically reduces our chances of winning the Champions League, which is the whole point of entering it. The best I can imagine without Hazards is that we just have a lot of valiant efforts in the tournament. That's it, to be fair. Gaming legend, should Sarri stay? Personally, I think he should. In my opinion, you know, there's a reason why I've been patient, because something kept telling me that it was going to be a matter of time before we saw that lineup. I think they passed the test, and I think they played so well that it'd be very hard for Sarri to just go back to his old ways and really dismiss what he's seen. Because I think that was how good the performance was yesterday. And I think that, you know, Sarri, and this is the thing, you know, a lot of times maybe all of us have been a bit too arrogant as fans to like think that we know more than a manager in that sense. Because at the end of the day, a lot of principles that fans talk about in regards to players getting the opportunities and stuff, we're normally saying that we want players to be playing on merit, etc., etc. And Sarri personally thinks now that a lot of the guys that weren't playing as much during the start are now ready. And they're better players for it now. And he's right in that sense, you know. I mean, if I'm going to be playing this style of football, I need to know that you guys are going to be good in the defensive phase. Otherwise, we're going to be split open time and time again, as we've seen time and time again this season. So Sarri's pushed them. He's told them what they need to do to improve on. Even let us fans know what they need to do. Those players have worked on that. They have improved on that. and this is why they're playing a lot more now. So this is what I mean. I think that with patience, we could see Sarri in a better light for next season, in my opinion. What else? Dave, I've been Sarri in the whole time, but I will be sorry out if he ignores that lineup and we lose out on CL. Yeah, of course. I mean, if we never saw that lineup again, I mean, then Sarri's asking for it. Let's be serious. He is. I mean, we've known from time that this lineup with a lot of technical players playing was always going to be the lineup to get the best out of the system. So let's hope, you know. Jay Godwell, Zuma and Rudiger. Listen, I like Rudiger. I don't not dislike him. But for me, I've always seen it like this. And maybe it's because, you know, over the years, I've seen guys like, you know, Terry, Carvalho, Gallas, even guys like Alex, etc., etc. We've always had great defenders here. So maybe I shouldn't be doing this. But I'm always going to compare, you know, guys like Rudiger to what we used to have before. And I'm just thinking, if we had the same defence from a few years ago in this current team right now, would Rudiger be close to playing in the first team? I don't think so. I think at best we'll be a squad player. And the reason why, maybe you might be thinking I'm being too critical of my judgment, but of course, you know, I've got a lot of big aspirations for this club. You know, we're not Arsenal, we're not Spurs. You know, we want to win things, which we have been doing over the years. So we need to have higher standards and hold this club to a higher standard, in my opinion. And I just think that going in the future, if we want to be up there with the best teams in the world, if not the best team in the world, a Rudiger isn't going to be the guy that's going to get you there. Now, for the squads, amazing for the squad. I just don't think that you'll consistently get world-class performances week in, week out. Look back the previous years with guys like Carvalho and Terry's, etc., etc. When did you really ever see mistakes in their game? When did you really ever see them messing up? It never happened. And maybe we took that for granted because we were seeing so much defensive excellence that we just thought was normal. But now when I see guys like Rudiger and even Luiz, who isn't great 50-50, you see the levels, you know. But yes, you guys, thank you for the super chats. Jay Scheller, have you heard about Luis Campos? When it comes to Luis Campos, there really isn't anything new. I think I've kind of disclosed everything there is. I think I even provided more context in regards to what was actually happening and what was being spoken about with his plans. Since then, there hasn't been anything new. I'll be finding out, though. I'll be asking, because I'm sure as the season ends, things will be interesting. I'd like to personally find out if, you know, we really are in the hunt for a director of football. They're the questions I'll be like finding out for you guys and hopefully doing videos on soon. But Luis Campos, you know, if we get this transfer ban, I think that we need guidance. We do. I think that Marina and co just need to accept that, listen, but there's some things we're amazing at. There's some things we aren't. We can't do everything. I mean, imagine the workload. Imagine all the work she's doing already. And then getting involved in, you know, signing players and who to get. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's way too much workload in my opinion. So I'm hoping that the club are going to think long term and bring in someone like a Luis Campos, who I think would do bits if he came here. CFC Anuj again, thank you, bro. You might think I'm crazy, but Europa League would be calm for next season, and Sarri could have a better chance of winning the Premier League, but obviously I want UCL. I hear what you're saying. So you're seeing it in the optimistic point of view where it's like, okay, imagine we won the Europa League, but we missed out on the top four due to messing up during the middle part of the season. And you're basically saying that if I'm seeing all this potential, it'd be fair to then sack Sarri if it meant that we had no Champions League. I think it's a fair argument. It's a fair point. It'd be hard for me to answer now because I like to see a bit more first before I have, like, you know, definitive you know, answers and stuff. So let's give it a few more games. Let's see if we see this lineup a bit more before we really have definitive opinions. Because let's be serious, how many times on the timeline on Twitter I'll be seeing certain man just, you know, raving Sarri out, this, that, being super negative, and then after yesterday's game, look how everything just became completely different. So I don't like putting myself in that trap. I like to take my time a bit. But let me see, you guys. I'm gonna be here for another 5 to 10 minutes. Who else? Vera 619 Nini. Don't you think Higuain would leave the same way Torres did through winning the European Cup? Europa League trophy looks likely. Yeah, I feel confident. Before the season started, one thing I've said is we definitely have to win the Europa League. And with how we've been playing so far, let's hope that that continues. Who else? Wong, do you have faith Sarri will use Reece James, Mason Mount, Tammy next season more than he's used Joe this season? Well, again, it's a difficult one, this Hudson-Odoi one, because I can see the arguments from both sides, so it's hard for me to really pick a side in that sense, because at the same time, you know, the manager has every right to expect a degree of excellence in regards to how players are performing before he picks them in the lineup. And if he feels that certain players maybe aren't strong enough defensively at this level to really, you know, make sure that we're not just like leaving spaces and holes in behind, then he does have a right to be patient with the player. And in that sense, it would be different if, you know, we had characters that weren't ready to rise to the challenge. But with Hudson-Odoi and with Ruben, and let's be serious with Ruben, if the guy wasn't injured, he'd be fine. And, you know, we've got to give Sarri some slack at times. Listen, I'm always saying criticise the guy in the right context, which I think I do. But a lot of times people just want to criticise over the pettiest things. I mean, I'm still reading things about, oh, why didn't you use Ruben from the start? Do people just purposely dismiss the fact that the guy's got a back injury and this is the real reason why he hasn't been playing as much? I mean, Sarri did something like that earlier this season, and that's how Ruben got that latest knock back that kept him out for a bit. So, I mean, come on, let's criticise fairly, you know. But I think anything can happen, you know. Sarri's kind of suggested that the fact that if you want me to work with youth players, get rid of the likes of Willian, Pedro, etc., etc. In that sense, he does have a point. He does have a tiny point. And I think it's a simple solution. You know, the manager and the club should both come to an agreement about how they would ideally push forward in the future. If the club are saying, listen, we want to use youth, make it happen. If you think guys are going to bottleneck them and hold them back, sell some of them. It's as simple as that, in my opinion. CFC and Nude, bro, come on, you're doing too much, man. I appreciate it a lot, though, man. Thanks a lot. People saying sorry, I have no context. I know what you mean. It's just like, you know, people kept mistaking context for making excuses, which now context just paints a better picture. I mean, you can still, someone can still do something wrong, but I don't think there's anything wrong with understanding why they did it, because when you understand why certain actions happen, then you can learn from it and hopefully do something different. Yeah, what's his name? Mazzaro21, thank you, bro. Big fan. Thanks, man. But you know what's weird? Maybe it's just me being stupid, but I always get weirded out by the concept of like I would never call any of you guys like fans of me. I just call you subs, because like we're all just Chelsea fans, you know. So, but yeah, I appreciate the sentiment. Love your content. Keep it up, bro. Any contract news on Hazard, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Luiz? Also, do you think Sarri will at least start Ruben next game? When it comes to any news, as I said to someone earlier, there's nothing I'm hearing right now. But at the same time, which I explained, you know, I'm not constantly, you know, belling people and texting people non-stop asking for this, that. I'm not like a self-serving guy, you know. I understand that I'm getting this stuff for free. They don't have to give it to me. So I just want to keep that relationship going. But yeah, nothing currently right now. As I said earlier, the only current thing was the club are confident that Callum Hudson-Odoi is going to be staying. And then like afterwards, you know, press reported that. Also, do you think Sarri will at least start Ruben next game? Well, Sarri said after the press conference that it's the first time that Ruben didn't complain of his back, which is a massive positive. And there's nothing wrong with Sarri being patient. Now, you know, we're assuming that Ruben is, you know, being angry and upset behind the scenes. No, you know, he's got his own development plan. He's working on to rehabilitate his back. You know, these are the type of details we have to consider and appreciate as fans. But yeah, if Sarri's, you know, publicly stating that it's the first time Ruben hasn't complained of his back. Yeah, Sarri said that he has a slight hamstring thing, but it doesn't look too serious or too deep. Then there's a massive possibility that, yeah, he will start, because he's still scored in his past 2 games. He's made things happen. And he makes Hazard better, Ruben. You know, he's been the missing link throughout this entire season. We haven't played with a number 8 at all this year, which has been a massive factor. Look at the difference adding one more person that makes runs in behind does. Because when you're doing that, now that Ruben can occupy the left, that means Hazard can play an even freer role and do his thing now. So, So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the game on Monday. I'm actually excited for it. But you guys, I'm going to be here for 5 minutes more. Okay, Safir. Yes, man. How were you saying? Where is it? Okay, I want to see Sarri use youth next season if you can't get the summer, but I get why people are pessimistic due to the team selection. Still Sarri in though. Yeah, I appreciate we've all been frustrated and pessimistic about things, but you know, the manager does have a right to expect some degree of excellence before he picks a player. So, you know, let me see who else. Dale, Ampadu to Bournemouth maybe. It could be good for him. I think for me, Ampadu needs a loan move for the next 2 years. I mean, this is what I get frustrated about. This season, he should have gone out on loan, and he would have. You know, talks of him potentially going to Italy, Derby, etc., etc. But it was another case of no one's leaving until someone comes in first, which has cost these guys time and time again. I just think it's one of the most stupidest policies. I really don't understand it. I mean, we knew how stupid it was when, remember the Kennedy story, when the guy went all the way to Newcastle to then be told, yo, actually, you need to get your ass back here now because this guy is not signing for us. It's stupid in my opinion. But, okay. Nitska, Matt Sam, thoughts on the Bonucci drama? Bonucci, man. I'm not going to lie, it wasn't as if I was like surprised, really, when he said it. I'm not even implying that guy's a racist, but it's just that ignorance, you know. As a leader, you're supposed to protect your players. That's what you're supposed to do. You come out there, you stick by them. You don't start giving your thoughts. Whatever thoughts you have, you keep it behind the scenes. You keep your ignorance behind the scenes, you know. I don't know why he had that confidence to come out there making that statement like that. I mean, does he not understand how the social media world works? What, you thought that people would be like, Bonucci, oh yeah, he's got a fair point, you know. I mean, but again, you know, sometimes it's good that you just, when you get to understand a guy better, you know. So I'm curious to know what would be happening behind the scenes now. If I'm keen, I'm not rating Bonucci as much anymore. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna rate him at all. Oh, thank you again for the super chat, man. Can you do a video on your 25-man squad for next season with a ban including youth team, loan players, first team, who needs to be sold and loaned next year? That's exactly what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing that around May, near the end of the season, or maybe sometime this month. I'll see. But that's definitely a video idea I've got planned. So don't worry, man. Expect to see that soon. And thank you for the super chat again. Okay, Real Morgan. Who should be our number 8 for next season? Ruben is first. Who do you think would be a good number 8 from the Loan Army? It's got to be Mason Mount. I mean, Mason Mount. The Loan Army, the guys I'd like to see come back, to be fair, would be Tammy. I think as a number 2 striker. I mean, he suits the style of football. Presses from the front, leads from the front. Excellent finisher, doesn't get any credit for that. Movement off the ball. Decent first touch. We really use his Swansea spell against him for some baffling reason, but look at certain teams like Swansea's and that. They don't make goals with their strikers. Their top scorers are getting like 8 goals or 10 goals if they're lucky for the season. So, and even then, you know, he's still showing that he can play at that level. And I think that Tammy is another guy where if he has the opportunity, he's got that desire. He's a professional. He could be completely different by the time he's 25. I mean, it happens. Look how when Drogba first started, he was a guy that used to play you know, on the last man. Now look what he turned into. Complete forwards. He could assist, score goals from outside the box, inside both feet with his head, acrobat. I mean, he could do everything. So, you know, sometimes we have to look at some of the qualities that players possess, and then it's up to the manager to work on some of the weaknesses. So I think Tammy can come back and do something. Obviously Mason Mount, De Silva for me, and Reece James. They're the 4 guys I'd like to see come back. And I think a few of these guys need moves. You know, Ampadu needs a loan move, etc., etc. Optimus per Prima. How do you think Pulisic will fare next season? That is a good question. Pulisic next season. I think that I'm not expecting fireworks. I'll just be honest. I'm really not. I think I'll probably see Pulisic really, you know, doing bits maybe after his first season in the league. It'll be interesting to see how he's deployed. His signing kind of frustrated me. Nothing even against Pulisic. It's just the fact that it showed that the board just didn't understand what strengthening this team needed. And it's obvious that we need someone on the right who can cut on the left foot. And to spend 57 million on like another Willian, for example, I'm not too sure about that, to be fair. I mean, you'll just never get the same amount of goals if you've got a right foot down the left-hand side. You won't. It will never happen. And that's what really frustrated me. If Hudson-Odoi is staying, I mean, he's always going to be playing on the left. I mean, no way in hell Pulisic over Hudson-Odoi down the left. For me, Hudson-Odoi is a better player than Pulisic. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I can't say like I'm super excited, but you know, I'm willing to keep an open mind and see what happens with Pulisic. Chelsea fan, what do you think of a front three of Jovic, Pulisic and Odoi? It would be fun, but if it was someone else other than Pulisic, then maybe that would be a better front three in my opinion. Nicholas Jacobson Nini, that's why you're the king, never begging for money. Thanks, bro. Pigtails, why are you worried about my questions? Sorry, I think I missed it. Oh, now I'm seeing all of them. Damn, my bad. Kayo, hey man. Nini, you coming to Prague? Nah, I'm not ready for that. I need to invest a lot more into the channel to get the equipment needed to start doing like stuff abroad, to be fair. Ideally, someone coming with me to be a cameraman helps. Maybe next season. I think my goal for next season would be to at least go to like, you know, one game abroad and do something from there. But nah, man, I think Prague is a bit too soon for me, to be fair. Who else? Don Masibo Nini. With this transfer ban approaching, who do you think would be our strikers for next season? But I think if that does happen, I think Tammy's got a massive possibility of coming back into the squad for next season. I think the guy can definitely do something. I keep saying he's all the qualities that Chelsea fans like, and Tammy embodies that. So hey, this guy could do something. He really could. I mean, he's a finisher. All we need in a Sarri ball system really is someone that can consistently put it in the back of the net. And Tammy's been consistently, you know, he's played in systems like this since the youth days. So this ain't new for him. I think he could really do something if he comes back. Thank you again for the super chat, man. Number one transfer target for the summer, I'd probably say Jovic. He's probably the number one currently right now. Who else? You guys, I'll be here for 2 more minutes and I got to bounce. Fofi, Nini, are we the new Arsenal during the AW regime? 100% ball possession, 0 goal threat. I mean, I think we have to just understand the nature of football. Let's be serious. How many times when you see teams defending deep with their lives, are you seeing teams regularly peppering them with good opportunities, getting like 15, 20 shots in their game? It's not the case. I mean, as fans, we always forget that our opponents are trying to get a result for themselves. Of course, when you're a supporter of a big team, it's easy to forget that. But as I keep saying, when you look at teams like Man City, when they're playing against these defensive teams, are they winning what 5-0 every time? I mean, against Cardiff, they only won 2-0. You know, we beat them by more. So, yeah, you know, I just think that it's a process. It will take time. When you've got better quality and caliber of player playing in the system, makes a big difference, as we saw yesterday. And again, if you've the right personnel, you can create the right possibilities. I mean, look at the 2 goals from Ruben and from Hazard. Now, Hazard's never been able to do that with guys like Cover and Barkley playing number 8. There was a fantastic video on Twitter, a sick video. This guy was just going through, I mean, you know these football videos where they have all these like big technical terms for like obvious things like, you know, he looks into the direction he's going to run into. But it just really broke down, you know, the brains behind how those moves started. You know, Hazard receiving the ball, Ruben delaying his run and then obviously moving out wide to the left, getting the pass, already knowing where Hazard was, quickly playing a quick one to Hazard. You're not seeing that goal with Cover or Ross in the team because they're not going to be making that run, not pulling off the pass, or they're just playing it back and being safe. So when you play possession style of football, there's more responsibility on the players, and obviously the better the player, you know, the better the end product's going to be. I'm going to answer one more question that I need to bounce you guys. Okay. Osman, Nicolas Pepe is coming to Chelsea. I feel it coming. I'd be happy to see that happen. I really would. It could happen if we wanted it to. I think that he would be a guy that we desperately need down the right hand side. I mean, what he's doing at Lille so far, his movement in behind as well, which is elite. He's going to be someone that could add so many more goals to this system. And just what he's doing at Lille so far this season. I mean, he's smacking it so far. So that'd be interesting to see. But one more question, Zaki Mahmood's. We saying, bro, which players would you sign in the summer if Hazard was to leave? Oh, what a final question. Okay, the players, I haven't thought about this too much. I'm not going to lie, I'm not consistently thinking about it. But some players I'd like to see. Jovic, I think that this guy would be great. A 4-line of Tammy and Jovic would be really good in my opinion. I'd like to see someone down the right-hand sides. One player I really like this player, is Hakim Ziyech from Ajax. I just love the fact that if you sign this guy, not only can he play everywhere across the front three, which I think is just, you know, such a rare quality to have in a player, but he consistently produces from any position. I mean, this season for Ajax, you know, Neres isn't playing in the team anymore. Ziyech's been playing on the right. You're seeing the goals and assists, double digits. The skill, stupidly skillful. The vision. He's the type of player where he can create something from nothing. He can win you a game out of nothing. Let's say you've been awful in the game. Ziyech will then bend it in from 25 yards, top corner, and you've got your 3 points in the game. They're the type of players I want to see more of. And, you know, we had that in guys like Drogba and Lampard and Ballack and Essien. The players that could win you a game by themselves from nothing. I don't know. I think Ziyech, he's the type of player that we never go for. We try to go for them, but we never get them. But I think Ziyech, he could be someone where I can imagine a lot of clubs would overlook him for some baffling reason. He could be easier to sign. I think it could work. I think it really could work. Ziyech here, down the right-hand side, with his vision, being like another playmaker. That's exactly what I'd want to see, to be fair. Even though I like Nicolas Pepe, I have to be honest, I do prefer Hakim Ziyech because of just his overall ability. I mean, I don't know why this guy isn't spoken about enough in my opinion. But you guys, that's just my opinion. Thank you for watching. I'm going to keep it moving now. I'm the FC. This is Blue Lions TV. Signing out.